must be focused on your mind. Hello, my friends. I want to take a moment and ask you this. When was the last time you truly sat still and focused on your mind? Not the clutter, not the chaos, but your mind. That beautiful, powerful, limitless gift that holds your dreams, your strength, and your capacity to change your world. We live in a world full of distractions. Notifications ding, voices chatter, and doubts whisper in the back of your head. But let me tell you something, the power to rise above, to break through, and to create the life you dream of, it starts here, points to head, right here in your mind. Let me share something with you. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, what do you think will grow? Weeds. But when you focus on planting seeds of purpose, love, and resilience, you cultivate a garden of greatness. And trust me, when you nurture that garden with focus, it will bloom beyond anything you could imagine. So today I want you to commit to one thing: focus on your mind. Give it the attention it deserves. Feed it with intention, challenge it with purpose, and watch as the world unfolds in ways you've never seen before. Because here's the truth: when you focus on your mind, you discover that you are not just the product of your circumstances, you are the author of your story. And let me tell you something, your story is meant to inspire, empower, and uplift not just you, but everyone around you. Now go on and start writing your masterpiece. Distractions, V's, focus. Oh, let me tell you, distractions are everywhere. They're like little thieves sneaking into our lives, stealing our time, our energy, our attention. We wake up in the morning with the best intentions. Today, I'll focus on my goals, we say, but then the phone buzzes, a notification pops up. Somebody calls with their drama. And before we know it, the day is gone and we're left wondering what happened. But here's the truth: distractions only have the power we give them. And when you make a conscious decision to reclaim your focus, you start to realize how much control you really have. It starts with awareness. You've got to become aware of what's pulling you away from your purpose. Are you letting someone else's emergency become your priority? Are you scrolling through your feed instead of feeding your dreams? When you reclaim your focus, you begin to see clearly. Focus is not about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to what matters. It's about choosing moment by moment to align your actions with your purpose. And that alignment, my friends, is where the magic happens. Focus is a muscle. And like any muscle, it needs training. You don't go to the gym one time and expect to be fit for life, do you? No, you've got to show up. You've got to put in the work. Every single day, you've got to flex that focus muscle. And it starts small. Maybe it's committing to 5 minutes of uninterrupted work. Maybe it's turning off your notifications for 1 hour. Maybe it's just saying not now to distractions that don't serve you. Now, let's talk about the fear of missing out, because I know some of you are thinking, but what if I miss something important? Oh, honey, let me tell you, the only thing you'll miss by focusing is the chaos, the noise, the things that don't serve your highest self. When you focus, you create space for the things that truly matter to come into your life. And let me tell you something else. Focus doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never get distracted again. It means you'll notice when you do, and you'll gently bring yourself back to center. Focus is a practice, and like any practice, it grows stronger the more you do it. When you focus, you begin to realize that you are the driver of your own life. You're not just a passenger going wherever the road takes you. You've got the wheel and you've got the map. And when you focus, you can steer yourself toward your dreams with clarity and confidence. Think about it. Every great achiever in history had one thing in common. They knew how to focus. They knew how to block out the noise, ignore the critics, and keep their eyes on the prize. And if they can do it, so can you. But here's the key. Focus isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about aligning your energy with your purpose. It's about finding that sweet spot where passion meets discipline. And when you're in that zone, my friends, there's nothing you can't achieve. So ask yourself, what's distracting you right now? What's pulling you away from your purpose? And what can you do today to bring yourself back to focus? Because when you focus, you step into your power. You step into your truth. And you step into the life you're meant to live. The garden of the mind. Your mind, my friends, is like a garden. It's a sacred space, a place of growth and beauty, a canvas waiting to be painted with the colors of your dreams. But here's the thing about gardens: they don't take care of themselves. If you don't tend to them, weeds will grow. And those weeds, they're the doubts, the fears, the negativity that creep in when you're not paying attention. You've got to be intentional about what you plant in your mind. Are you planting seeds of courage, love, and possibility? Or are you letting the world plant seeds of doubt and fear? Because whatever you plant will grow. If you plant positivity, positivity will bloom. If you plant negativity, will take root. And let me tell you, it's not just about planting the right seeds, it's about nurturing them. It's about watering them with your attention, your focus, your belief. It's about pulling out the weeds before they take over. And it's about protecting your garden from anything that threatens to harm it. Think of the people you surround yourself with. Are they helping you grow, or are they trampling your garden? Because the company you keep will influence the seeds you plant. Choose people who uplift you, who inspire you, who challenge you to be your best self. And let go of anyone who brings negativity into your life. And then there's the soil. Your soil is your environment, your habits, your daily routines. Is your soil fertile, full of opportunities for growth? Or is it barren, drained of energy and inspiration? You've got to create an environment that supports your growth. That means setting boundaries, creating rituals, and filling your life with things that nourish your soul. Now, let's talk about patience, because gardens don't bloom overnight, and neither do minds. Growth takes time. It takes consistency. It takes faith. You've got to trust the process, even when you don't see immediate results. You've got to keep watering those seeds, keep pulling those weeds, and keep believing that your garden will bloom. When your mind is a garden, it's not just about growing for yourself. It's about sharing your beauty with the world. It's about creating a space where others can find inspiration, joy, and hope, because when your garden blooms, it has the power to uplift everyone around you. Your mind is a gift. It's a canvas, a garden, a masterpiece waiting to be created. And when you focus on tending to it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So start today. Plant the seeds of your dreams, nurture them with love, and watch as your garden grows into something extraordinary. Commitment to growth. Let me tell you something about growth. It's not a one-time decision. Growth isn't something you stumble into. Growth is a commitment, a lifelong promise you make to yourself. It's waking up every day and saying, today I will do better. Today I will be better. And that, my friends, takes focus. But here's the thing, growth isn't always comfortable. Oh, no, it stretches you, it challenges you, it pushes you to places you've never been before. And let me tell you, that's where the magic happens. When you're out of your comfort zone, when you're walking into the unknown, when you're facing challenges head on, that's when you grow. Commitment to growth means showing up for yourself even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. It means putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. It means believing in your potential even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. Because growth isn't about what others see in you, it's about what you see in yourself. Now, growth isn't linear, it's not a straight path. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns. Some days you'll feel like you're on top of the world, and other days you'll feel like you're taking 3 steps back. But let me tell you something, every step, every stumble, every fall, it's all part of the process. It's all taking you closer to where you're meant to be. You've got to trust the journey. Trust that every experience, every lesson, every challenge is shaping you, molding you, preparing you for what's ahead. Because growth isn't just about the destination, it's about who you become along the way. And who you're becoming is someone extraordinary. Now let's talk about resilience. Because growth requires resilience. It requires the ability to bounce back, to keep going, to keep believing. And resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It's like a muscle. And every challenge you face is an opportunity to make it stronger. And let me tell you something else about growth. It's contagious. When you commit to your own growth, you inspire others to do the same. You become a light, a guide, a source of strength for those around you. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise too. But here's the most important thing about growth. It starts with you. It starts with the decision to focus on yourself, to invest in yourself, to believe in yourself. It starts with the decision to say, I am worth it. I am worthy of growth, of success, of joy. Growth isn't about perfection. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about progress. It's about taking one step forward every day, no matter how small. And over time, those small steps add up to something incredible. So I want you to ask yourself, are you committed to your growth? Are you willing to do the work, to face the challenges, to embrace the discomfort? Because if you are, let me tell you, there's nothing you can't achieve. Mind over circumstances. Your circumstances do not define you. Let me say that again, your circumstances do not define you. Too often we let the outside world dictate how we feel, what we do, who we are. But the truth is, your power isn't out there. It's in here, points to head. No matter where you are in life, no matter what challenges you're facing, your mind is your greatest asset. It's your anchor in the storm, your compass in the wilderness, your engine when the road gets tough. And when you learn to master your mind, you can rise above any circumstance.
Choosing authenticity means rejecting the illusion that external things will make us feel whole. It's about recognizing that our worth isn't defined by what we have or what others think of us. Lust in its many forms tells us otherwise. It feeds us a lie that we need something more to be enough. But when we embrace our authenticity, we discover that we are already enough just as we are. When we let go of lust and choose authenticity, we find that our decisions align with who we truly are rather than who we should be. It's about showing up as our most vulnerable selves and trusting that this is enough. In that space, we begin to see that the desires that once seemed so urgent lose their power over us. Our lives are no longer driven by a need to prove ourselves or achieve perfection. Instead, we act from a place of integrity, making choices that feel right because they reflect our deepest values. And in this alignment, we find the peace and fulfillment that lust can never provide. Choosing authenticity isn't always easy, especially in a world that often celebrates external success and appearances. But every step we take toward embracing our true selves, regardless of what others may think, is a step toward a deeper sense of self-worth. The more we reject the pull of lust and choose authenticity, the more we find that life becomes richer and more meaningful. We no longer feel compelled to chase after things that don't serve us. Instead, we can confidently say yes to what is truly ours, what resonates with our core, and what reflects our unique purpose. Vulnerability is the antidote. Lust thrives on hiding behind masks, on avoiding the discomfort of showing our true selves. It feeds on the illusion of control, convincing us that we can manage our lives by curating the right image or acquiring the right things. But this is an illusion, one that keeps us from experiencing life in its truest form. Vulnerability is the antidote to this false sense of control. It is the courage to stand in the discomfort of not knowing, of not having everything figured out and yet still showing up. When we embrace vulnerability, we break free from the cycle of lust. We stop chasing after external validation and begin to honor ourselves as we are. Vulnerability requires courage because it asks us to be real, to face our fears and insecurities without hiding behind a facade. It's in this raw, honest space that true connection can happen, not only with others, but also with ourselves. Lust tells us that we need to protect ourselves, that we should avoid anything that might make us feel weak or exposed. But vulnerability teaches us the opposite. It teaches us that true strength lies in being open, in allowing ourselves to be seen for who we truly are. This doesn't mean sharing every detail of our lives with everyone we meet. Vulnerability is about choosing to be real, to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that we might want to hide, and to let go of the need for perfection. When we choose vulnerability, we allow ourselves to experience the richness of human connection. We stop pretending to be someone we're not. And we begin to build relationships based on truth and authenticity. In a world that often rewards perfection and achievement, vulnerability may feel like a radical act. But it is in our vulnerability that we truly begin to heal. It is in those moments of openness, of honesty, that we connect with others on a level that lust can never reach. Vulnerability allows us to ask for help when we need it, to express our feelings without fear of judgment, and to seek support when life gets tough. It is through vulnerability that we can find real, deep connection with others, something lust can never give us. When we embrace vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be seen in all of our imperfect glory. We acknowledge that we are enough just as we are, and that our worth isn't tied to how much we have or what others think of us. Lust, on the other hand, thrives on the belief that we are never enough, that we need more in order to be worthy. Vulnerability shatters that belief and invites us into the fullness of who we are, imperfections and all. True vulnerability requires us to be kind to ourselves, to honor our emotions, and to resist the urge to cover up or suppress what we're feeling. It's about letting go of the fear of being judged and opening ourselves up to the possibility of connection. When we choose vulnerability over lust, we create space for real love, compassion, and understanding to flourish in our lives. And in this space, we discover that we are enough exactly as we are. Self-compassion over comparison. Lust is often rooted in comparison. We look at others and think, if I could just have what they have, be who they are, or do what they do, then I'd be happy. We compare our lives, our bodies, our success, and even our relationships to what we see in others, and we end up feeling inadequate. Lust feeds on this comparison, convincing us that we are lacking in some way, but the truth is, no one's life is perfect, and no one's journey is exactly the same. The more we compare ourselves to others, the more we lose sight of our own unique path. Lust makes us forget that we are worthy simply because we exist, not because of what we have or how we measure up to others. It blinds us to our own beauty and strength. Self-compassion is the antidote to comparison. It allows us to acknowledge our imperfections and limitations without judgment. When we practice self-compassion, we begin to understand that we are enough as we are. We don't need to be anyone else or have what anyone else has in order to be worthy of love, success, and happiness. Self-compassion invites us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend who is struggling. Instead of being critical of ourselves when we fall short, we show up with empathy and encouragement. We recognize that growth takes time and that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Self-compassion frees us from the constant need to compare and allows us to embrace our own unique story. When we compare ourselves to others, we fail to see our own strengths and accomplishments. We are too focused on what we don't have or what we think we lack. Self-compassion helps us shift the focus back to what is truly important, our own growth, our own progress, and our own well-being. It allows us to celebrate our victories, no matter how small, and to acknowledge the challenges we've overcome without judgment. Self-compassion reminds us that we are worthy, not because we are perfect, but because we are human. In moments when we feel the pull of comparison, self-compassion invites us to pause and reflect on our own journey. It reminds us that we are not in competition with anyone but ourselves. We are not here to live someone else's life. We are here to live our own. Self-compassion allows us to honor our own path with all its ups and downs without the need for external validation. It frees us from the prison of comparison and gives us permission to be proud of who we are and where we've come from. By practicing self-compassion, we choose to stop measuring our worth against the standards of others. We begin to recognize our inherent value regardless of what others have or what we think we should be. Lust feeds on comparison, but self-compassion is the antidote. When we embrace self-compassion, we choose to honor our own unique journey and let go of the need to measure ourselves against anyone else. We begin to see ourselves as enough just as we are, and that is when true fulfillment begins. Live with purpose, not perfection. Lust thrives on the idea that we must achieve perfection in order to be worthy or successful. It tells us that we are not enough until we have everything just right, until we have the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect relationship. But the pursuit of perfection is exhausting, and it never leads to fulfillment. Perfection is an illusion. And when we chase after it, we miss the beauty of the present moment. Living with purpose, on the other hand, is about focusing on what truly matters to us. It's about setting goals that are aligned with our values, rather than trying to meet some external standard. Purpose gives us direction, while perfection keeps us stuck in an endless cycle of striving for something that doesn't even exist. When we live with purpose, we are able to focus on what is truly meaningful to us. We set goals based on our passions and values, not on the expectations of others or society's standards. Purpose allows us to move forward with intention without the pressure to be perfect. It reminds us that progress is more important than perfection. Every step we take toward our goals, no matter how small, is a step toward creating a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. Perfection often holds us back from taking action. We think I can't do this unless it's perfect, and as a result, we end up doing nothing. Purpose, however, empowers us to take action, even when we don't have everything figured out. When we live with purpose, we focus on the impact we want to make rather than on the image we want to project. We recognize that we don't need to be perfect to make a difference. We just need to show up and do our best. When we stop striving for perfection, we create space for authenticity and growth. We embrace the process rather than focusing on the end result. Lust tells us that we need to have everything figured out, but purpose teaches us that it's okay to take imperfect steps toward our goals. It's not about having everything right. It's about showing up, doing the work, and staying true to our values. When we live with purpose, we stop chasing after the false promise of perfection and start creating a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. Living with purpose means focusing on the things that truly matter, not on external validation or the pursuit of perfection. It's about living in alignment with our values, making choices that reflect our deepest desires and passions. Purpose brings clarity while perfection creates confusion. Purpose allows us to move forward with intention and integrity, knowing that we are on the right path for us. Let go of the need for control. Lust often arises from a desire for control. We try to control the outcome of situations, the way others perceive us, or the course of our lives. We believe that if we can control these things, we will feel safe and secure. But the truth is, control is an illusion. Life is unpredictable. And no matter how hard we try to control everything around us, we cannot dictate the future. Lust feeds on the belief that we can manage every detail of our lives, that we can force things to go our way. But this desire for control only leads to frustration and stress. The more we try to control, the more we create resistance in our lives. When we let go of the need for control, we create space for acceptance and peace. We stop trying to force things to happen and begin to trust that life will unfold as it is meant to. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up on our goals or dreams. It means releasing the need to control the outcome. It means accepting that we cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond. This shift in mindset allows us to approach life with more flexibility, resilience, and grace. Trying to control everything only creates more anxiety and stress. When we let go of the need for control, we allow ourselves to experience life as it comes. We stop forcing outcomes and start embracing the present moment. We focus on what we can control: our actions, our attitude, our response, and trust that the rest will fall into place. Letting go of control frees us from the grip of lust as we stop chasing after things we cannot manage and start living in harmony with what is. Control keeps us trapped in fear. We become afraid of what might happen if things don't go according to plan. Letting go of control allows us to release that fear. We can move forward with confidence, knowing that life is full of uncertainty and surprises, and that's okay. We don't need to know every outcome in advance. We trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to, and we can face whatever comes with courage and grace. When we let go of the need for control, we make space for trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in others, and trust in the process of life. Control keeps us stuck in the illusion that we can manage everything, but trust opens us up to the possibilities that come with uncertainty. When we trust, we allow life to flow with ease instead of fighting against it. Lust keeps us in the grip of control, but letting go of that need allows us to experience the freedom and peace that comes with trusting the journey.